Hi, I'm Susan Moody here with the Quantum Center of Excellence, and we have Fernando Crespo-O'Neill with an accessory item. And what are we looking at here, Fernando?
This is the head port pad. This is an item that we've had for about 2 years that is just such a great item, and I just love talking about it.
Okay, so tell me what's going on here.
Well, the head port pad is a product that came about for mostly working with animals, so that you can have a smaller animal lay on it and you can get the send receive of using the software. But then as people started using it on themselves and finding that they had really great success with it, as a good compromise to working on people that didn't like having the head harness on, people that were working on maybe kids that were challenging, like maybe autistic kids that couldn't handle having the head harness on. What's so great about this is obviously you're not going to stick it on the forehead, but it's great for putting along the spine, and you can do the session that way rather than having a head harness on the forehead.
Is there a top bottom?
Yes. So of course, it connects to the front of the device. This is the SKIO version, so it would plug into the head port pad of the head port of the front of the SKIO. But then these are the 8 electrodes, and you think about the electrodes on the head harness are about 1 inch tall by 1/4 inch wide. These ones are 8 inches long by 1 inch wide. So there's greater energetic coverage, and the electrodes just go right up against the skin, preferably right along the skin, right where along the spine.
But you said that some people use this for pets, which then there wouldn't be skin touching; it'd be fur.
That doesn't affect the transmission of the frequencies. It's just fine with them with their fur.
Okay. So I started to ask, is there a top and a bottom? So
yes.
So this is the top. This
Correct.
is the bottom. Okay.
Okay. I see what you're saying. There's more of a back and a front. Is there a top bottom? It's just whatever works best for the way the situation is. If the client's laying on their on say a massage table, and you're working at their feet end, well then this will be the bottom. But then if you're working at their head end, then that'd be the top. So it doesn't really matter.
Okay. So this could be proportion or put either way on the body.
Yes, it doesn't matter.
So, and now tell me about the construction here.
It's a really tough material. It's got the naga hide material, so that it's rugged. It'll last a long time. And then it's got the highly conductive rubber for the electrodes. And just be mindful, even though people use it for animal or for people, that you'd want to have one for each. You don't want to use the same one back and forth unless it's going to be for a family use, then that would be okay if that's how it would work in your family.
Okay, so this replaces the head harness. What about if you're using this on a human, would you still use the wrist straps and the ankle straps?
That's a good question. This for using on people is really a compromise, because you always want to use the head harness, and that's why the head harness was designed to have the cable come on the right side, is because it also has been effective for picking up brain waves, and this doesn't go on the side of the head, so it wouldn't do that. But because it plugs in the head port, it has input and output. It's full biofeedback. Do you want to not have the limb straps? You could do that if you're working on people that have been injured or autistic people that just can't handle having the straps on. It is a compromise. The session isn't as effective, but you could do that.
Okay. So how would you clean this between people or animals?
Okay, yeah, there you go. Either way, you still clean it the same. At the Quantum Center of Excellence, our cleaner of choice is the Transeptic Cleaning Solution.
Mm-hmm.
It's a U.S.-made product. It's a medical-grade product. It's gentle and easy to use, and you would spray it on, and you can wipe it off with either paper towel. Some people use a microfiber cloth, and that works really well. That's what we use here at the office.
Is there concerns about spraying it on the rubber?
Not with an approved product like this. Since it's a medical-grade product, it's actually really gentle to the electrodes. If you don't have that available where you live, some people have used colloidal silver spray water to do it, and that's been pretty effective in cleaning. Don't use any essential oils, because those are very stringent and they'll actually break down the rubber. Some people have asked if they can use alcohol. only if you're desperate. You could use it mixed with a 10% alcohol to 90% water, and that would be effective every once in a while if you wanted to clean the pad with it. Again, but alcohol is damaging to the rubber over time, but every once in a while it'd be okay. You can also use warm water and soap.
So on both sides.
Yep.
Cool. Tell me about how some people are actually using this. You made some inferences, and what kind of feedback are they getting?
Well, one of the most beneficial ways of using this is for a business practitioner that has clients come in during work, and some of us will be working on women that don't want to take off their makeup, and they are done until they go home. And so this is a great compromise rather than putting the head harness on, which also leaves the 8 electrode marks on the forehead. I call that the I just had a session tattoo, and which actually takes a while for those 8 marks to go away. Mm-hmm. But this allows them to keep their business clothes on and slip it along their spine, and it's just it's a great solution for people like that, for working on athletes as well, because it also has a greater energetic coverage that can help with pain relief too.
Mm-hmm. So a practitioner would get this if they are obviously wanting to work with animals and wanting to work with special challenged people. Mm-hmm. Any other, say a practitioner who just has a normal practice, what would they use this for?
Since it's more rugged, to be honest, the harness with the limb straps and the head harness is the number one item that will break down over time. It is designed to need to be replaced every 1 to 2 years. Some practitioners will actually replace their head harness and limb straps every year because they're seeing up to 1,000 clients a year. If you're not that busy, it still doesn't matter because they will break down. The rubber does break down even in certain climates. But this is just such a more rugged piece of equipment that it would be a handy additional piece of equipment.
Like a backup or a secondary head harness, so to speak, which is why you call it.
Yeah.
Okay.
You could do something like that as well. Another great thing for this head port pad is if you're working on a clientele that are very full figured. Let's put it that way, where maybe the head harness can't comfortably be put around their head, or the limb straps won't comfortably fit around their ankles or their wrist. So, but they need to be worked on with the software. So this would be a great solution for them as well, where you could slip it along their spine or even put it along the front on their stomach, depending on what you're working on, to work with people like that as well. Again, another special needs clientele.
Mm-hmm. So we talked about pain relief with this, multiple opportunities with animals and humans. What other interesting or it just sounds like there's a lot of variety here because it's so portable and movable.
Right. It's actually been newly sized to this size. It was a little bit bigger. Now it fits so much nicer into the carrying bag. Just one really neat application I've seen with this is people working on smaller animals and where they do the session, say in a crate or in a small kennel cage. If you're working on cats or dogs, and you can just set that inside that crate, and then to see the animals relax on it. I've seen it. They relax. They usually go to sleep, and they just enjoy the session so much better. And when you're working with this greater surface, the rectifications within the software are actually quicker, and as you're doing the different panels, they'll actually go quicker. So it's a great option. So,
just because I don't know, you said to put this along the spine. Can you also put this elsewhere on the body?
Yeah. It's if you're working on a larger area and you really want that send receive, that full biofeedback, it is okay to put on other parts of the body. But when you're using it to replace the head harness, we recommend along the spine. But that is a good option to try in other parts of the body, like larger areas, if you're doing that.
Hi, I'm Susan Moody.
And I'm Fernando Crespo-O'Neill.
And we are so glad you were able to join us today. And thank you so much for sharing so much about the accessories and and the benefits practitioners are seeing for their clients and what it's doing to their business, for their business.
It's my pleasure. I look forward to seeing you guys at the next event.
Thanks so much for joining us.